Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians Cast live stream. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm by myself because I wanted to talk a little bit to you guys. Hello, Carl. Hello, John. How you guys doing today? Let's see here. Oh, you just finished work, Carl? That's cool. Okay. Yeah, Doctor Who, it's up and down lately. It's it's weird because some episodes I liked that others didn't like. But I didn't think anything like I liked Spyfall with the master reveal. Then it went down. So I kind of like hope that originally I said on the cast a while ago, I was like, well, what if the Doctor altered her own time stream by accident? And that came up on the cast today as well. Because don't forget, supposedly the Doctor's born in the future as well as Susan in the far future, right? So, I mean, that's what Susan said in William Hartnell's series, right? So, if the Doctor did something that could alter her own birth, then that would be a whole slew of Doctors that would replace the Doctors we know. Now, because the Doctor travels through time, the Doctor would be an anomaly of time, right? Or reality would cover our reality. So the thing is, yes, Ruth could be the Doctor. She could be before Hartnell because there is no William Hartnell Doctor. There is no first Doctor because time has been rewritten, so to speak. And it's like if you look at, let's just say, let's explain it this way. Say the Marvel Universe, like the Spider-Man movies in the Marvel Universe, right? So you have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe, right? Then in another universe, Spider-Man doesn't look like Tobey Maguire. It looks like Andrew Garfield or like Tom Holland, or the age is different, or whatever, right? Could be like any numerous things. Like he was born a day later, day before, was different, looks different, from different universes. So if something happened when the Doctor was born and the Doctor, instead of being a male, was a female, like something occurred that, affected the Doctor's parents and from giving birth later or before or conceiving before or whatever, you would have a whole slew of Doctors that would be imprinted over the ones we know. It doesn't mean that ours would get erased because remember a while back, River said something about with time, they would be anomalies of time if time was altered or something happened or whatever. So I don't think that the thing is that Chibnall was correct in essence if that's the case, that Ruth is the first Doctor because the first Doctor was erased, as well as the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11, War Doctor, whatever. So they could all be erased. Now, and if this is fixed, then Ruth should phase out of reality. And where does she go? Does she just completely disappear, or does that universe exist somewhere? You know what I'm saying? That reality, that timeline. So I think that it will be undone, and of course you'll get the fans that will flip out that they liked Ruth and she's gone, and but ultimately you can never destroy Doctor Who canon. You can't erase Doctor Who canon and do something crazy like change the whole thing that there's Doctors before William Hartnell would be, where every episode is in question, and every time he says he's a certain age, he's not that age, and the whole cycles would be off, and it would be a pain in the what, and then you would have to retitle every doc. It would be a mess. It would be a mess. So let's see. Let's see. I understand that they need to change the format, but it went too far. I think so. Oswald Danes. Hey everyone, can't wait to see my return this season because Captain Jack is back, so it must mean the most popular character torture. Oswald Danes is returning. Yes. Okay. Honestly, how much do you think you'd stretch her? Well, I mean, the whole thing with Ruth, there's going to be people who are fans of her that are going to be upset when she's gone. So, that's the point. It's going to be messed up, and then it's going to be fixed. Uh, let's see. Well, that's another thing too. With Picard, they say that Picard's from the Next Generation timeline, the Prime Universe timeline, right? Now all that stuff happened, but the universe is still intact. So I have to watch Picard episode 2, and 3 and 4. Haven't had time lately. So I honestly think I'm trying to figure out how they're going to work it with the Master and the Cybermen and that alien race or interdimensional alien species that were there. That's going to be, to put all that in one thing, that's going to be weird. Plus the companions, timeless children. I mean, I just don't want them to change the origin of the Doctor or the Time Lords. I don't want them to affect, the TARDIS when it was born, or how, how time travel was created. I mean, we know that Omega was responsible for that, and then through an accident got stuck in the antimatter universe. So, as far as Torchwood goes, I know we haven't touched on Torchwood too much, but according to Chris Chibnall, he doesn't have control or the rights to do a Torchwood series. It's under the control of Russell T Davies. So if Russell T Davies went to Chris Chibnall and said, "Hey, go for it," he would only be allowed to do it, but he hasn't. So don't know if Russell T Davies wants to do a Torchwood series. But right now that's not happening. But of course, Captain Jack can happen. Well, here's the thing with time travel, doesn't everything change all the time? It is real because, I mean, the future is constantly changing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's like, if you created Torchwood, would you want someone else to do your stuff? And then knowing that someone else is doing your stuff, wouldn't you be constantly watching the stuff you created to see if it gets messed up? Then you have stress and a headache, right? Because you'd be like, I want to fix it. So I mean, I think Russell T Davies gets along a lot with Chris Chibnall because Chris Chibnall told Russell T Davies and Moffat ahead of time what was going on. So I guess actually Russell T Davies more, I think, but he's not at the moment. He's not allowing him to do it at the moment. But it doesn't mean Rusty Davies hates his creation, Torchwood. He just, maybe it's not in the cards right now. Not to say that there's a battle. I don't think there's any battles going on with Chibnall and Russell T Davies or Moffat. I think just maybe Russell T Davies is a little weary of anybody touching his stuff, his creation. I mean, you could technically, if Mandip Gill left, right, she could be a member of Torchwood with Martha Jones, right? You could have a whole new team of Torchwood that exists now. Could be whole new members too. Don't forget, in the episode of The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit, Torchwood lasted that far in the future where they were called the Torchwood Archives. So they were known. You could even say that ship was, with their members, was a division of Torchwood or descendants of Torchwood, kind of a group, So in the far future, like, I guess Torchwood still exists. And I guess that means in the past, Torchwood will come back with a vengeance. You know what I'm saying? Because they talked highly in the future. I kind of think that that's disgusting. What happened with Joe Hill? For them to say something like that, that's really egotistical, right? And they make it like them doing Doctor Who is far superior than an American writer, but Doctor Who lately sucks with certain episodes, right? So how could you say that? How could you? But then again, look at their policy. If this is a policy on diversity, but they are not. They are basically doing the opposite of diversity. They're like discriminating. Like, it's one thing if you want to have different races and different cultures on there, sure, but like now, why would you not want to have the other races that were on there before? Like, I don't understand. I think it's kind of, you know, that they're going about it the wrong way with diversity. Um, I mean, just look at the stupid things in the background, like the eternal guy. They make it like the woman was stronger. I mean, like, and then of course she's African. She's of color. Can't say African American because she's British. But I mean, stupid line of the Doctor saying that Jejune Captain's a woman, which she probably isn't. But like, it's just, I don't know, the way the guys are portrayed lately. It's weird. I mean, American bias. I don't know. I mean, look what the UK is doing with the history of Thomas Edison. That's kind of biasness too. I mean, that's an opinion from Chris Chibnall, not the actual reality. I mean, there's nothing in the history books that says he was a dick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ay, ay, ay. All right, guys, give me 1 second. Be right back. Hold on. Let's see. Sorry, that sucks when somebody rings my doorbell. I'm the only one here. All right, so let's see. I wish Rachel Talalay would return. She's awesome. I love her. Exactly. The Rosa Parks thing too. I mean, as Vaughn said, some of that stuff was not accurate. So, that's a little ridiculous. So ask me questions, guys. Doctor Who related. Why is my lighting all weird? Is that because of this? I hate that. The light. I gotta get better lighting. That's for sure. All right. So this episode coming up, episode 8, Lone Cyberman episode. I mean, I'm hoping it's not a tease like the whole damn episode. You don't see the Cyberman until the end. So I'm a little concerned with what's going to happen in this episode. I'm hoping it's good. The way they're trying to hide that the Cyberman's in it's kind of annoying because you know the Cyberman's in it. So I'm wondering what the hell's going to go on. 9 and 10, obviously they have to wrap up whatever is going on in there, but not completely because the Daleks are going to be attacking in this special. So you got to get the Cybermen out of the way, the Master out of the way, Ruth out of the way, Gallifrey out of the way. I mean, even if you continue the Timeless Child storyline, you just got to get that out of the way because the Daleks are coming, man. Daleks are going to be shooting up the place. You know, they got to push that to the side, I guess, somehow. Would I ever consider writing a Who novel? Definitely, it's on my bucket list. I would love to, but I'm so wrapped up in my own books that I write that, you know, I have like my characters and my stuff going on, and I'm constantly writing books. So in the future, I do envision or dream that I'd be doing a Doctor Who novel, but it's not right now. I mean, I'm right now in my head. If you want to know what I'm thinking, I'm working on book 13 of mine. And you know, people asking me in the comments also what's going on with that. Got some issues. It happens. I have a team. We are not agreeing on this cover. Has nothing to do with the manuscript because the manuscript is done. It was done. Whatever. I'm just waiting for the cover, and it's sort of like working with your team to develop the cover, and me having a vision, and they having a vision, and trying to have some type of common ground, but not that much because I think I want it a certain way. So I'm having a horrible time right now with my own book project. You know, I'm not trying to slate any, like knock the publisher or anything, but this experience with this 13th book is probably it's going to be close to one of the worst experiences getting this stuff done. And again, it's the horror story of you work on a book and things go wrong. And that's the one thing I always fear, that I'll be doing a book and I'm helpless for this one aspect because I'm not an artist. I'm a writer, published author, but I'm not an artist. And trying to have what I want and someone else doing it, and could they do it? And it's, you know, so I'm really, you know, being completely honest with you guys, my audience, these past couple of months since October 15th, I've been very upset in the background because you have to understand I'm putting all this money into something, and you know, I have no control over. Like we had an article, a newspaper, a magazine article that said the book was coming out in 2019. I had a promotion and everything. I loved the article; it was fantastic and everything. But then it didn't happen because the cover, they can't get the cover right. And like I said before, like me, I'm all about having wonderful, beautiful covers. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to the covers, and it's just it's weird, but it's so stressful for me that I am completely not in control, and I like to be in control of things. Not, you know what I'm saying, like, but like my own thing, especially, and I can't have any control over it. It's like at the mercy of someone else. And I set out a plan, like years ahead, like I want to do this book this year and this book this year, a couple books, right? Then I have an anniversary date, and all my plans are pushed back now. Which I'm all about dates and years and anniversaries and significances, and this book comes out here because of this, and so everything is getting messed up, and it's stressing me out. And the podcasts have been down. There hasn't been that many podcasts because my focus has been here and there on the book, and I'm having such a. I'm not trying to blame anybody, but I'm having such a bad experience with this book that it's kind of like making me not want to do another book, which I got to get out of that mindset. And I'm a positive person, and it's like all negativity. So this is like the biggest thing that's going on personally in my life right now is that I'm very, very frustrated. Um, I've spent a lot on this book, and the price tag has gone up, but the results are not there yet, and I'm kind of feeling like an idiot, like in a way. I mean, it may all turn out right at the end. Mark my words. Like Perfect Wish, my last book, I had to put all this money into it extra, but it worked out in the end, right? This one's not working out. Like this one was supposed to be out in 2019. I'm really pissed that it wasn't out. I'm like pissed beyond belief. And of course, I have other things in the background too. I have this YouTube channel. I got to do my, my podcast, my videos, which, sometimes I haven't been doing. Now, I also haven't been feeling well either. I've been sick. I've been having problems with my neck, my back, my knee. Now that's all healing up, supposedly, not 100%. But then my voice a little bit here and there is crackling. I'm getting cold here or there. Like the weather is just terrible. The weather's been really, really cold. And I walk around a lot. So I'm taking public transportation, and that's been knocking me out too. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we are not on the same page lately. And I'm used to having a team and we're on the same page. And this is not happening. And I'm like, this is a freaking nightmare right now for me. You don't even know. And it's almost getting to be the most expensive book I've ever done. Not yet, but it looks like it's going to exceed that. Yeah. Well, I kind of like to think that, I don't think, you don't want to think yourself as an old fart, because you got to keep it in your mindset that you're young, you're this, because when you start thinking like that, then you're going to be bitter and complaining, like, my knees hurting me there, huh? I can't walk, I don't feel like doing that podcast today. I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap for 20 hours. No, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think of myself as an old fart at all. I keep thinking of myself, I'm 26. There you go. Okay. So yeah. Jesus, never touch my stuff. No. Absolutely not. Never. But maybe one day I will write for Doctor Who and break that American trend, huh? Oh, thank you, Paul. It's so weird. I got so many birthday wishes beyond my birthday. It was so cool. And I'm like been spending the whole week trying to thank everybody. Thank you, Paul. You know what? I had to work on my birthday overnight, so I kind of couldn't do anything really. I watched a movie. I think I watched Terminator: Dark Fate. I was home. Even Sharon was working, so I only saw her for like an hour. Then I went to work, and then I loaded the truck and worked in retail and whatever. Came home, slept a little bit, and then I was just too tired to do it. I mean, I get like that. I'm not gonna do a video if I'm like super tired, and then like, yeah, working in retail. What, over 27 years? God, I took a break from it for a while. I was in the medical field for a while. But so yeah, talking about Doctor Who, getting back. I know saying stuff about me, but I kind of want the series to end where it's revealed that Ruth is not before the first Doctor. There's no cycle before the first Doctor. That she's from a timeline that was created through the events of the Lone Cybermen or whatever it is or something, and that that gets fixed in the end. But then the timeless child thing is something else. Been running around like a chicken with his head cut off since you're back home. Why? Bad Wolf, try animating. Try. Oh, you animated a lot, right, Bad Wolf? Okay. Wow. I mean, here's the thing. Omega should be big in Doctor Who now. Like, it's he should have been in Matt Smith's episodes. It would have made sense if Man of Graverian was working for Omega, because who else would be able to project the energy outside the universe to put the Ganger, give her substance of Amy Pond outside the universe? Like, who else would have the energy to do that? Oh, yeah. Well, I work, then I do this stuff here with YouTube, then I do my books. It's a lot of stuff going on at once. And I figured this was going to be done, and then I'd be working on book 14. That's not happening right now. And it's kind of hard for me to do anything with another book while this book is not finished. Like, even though it's a cover aspect, I just, because now it's like, all my plans are screwed up because I'm supposed to have book signings and stuff for this thing too. It's not even out yet. And the last thing I want to do is I want to do book signings and all kinds of things with book 13, and how could you do book 14 while you do it? It's craziness, Well, I mean, thinking about that, Carl, look what happened when the 11th Doctor first came to be. He almost was flung out of the TARDIS too. Remember that? So I think it's just the TARDIS doesn't like getting beat up. I mean, the TARDIS is like, enough already. You keep, yes, I want you to regenerate, but not inside the house. It's like don't play ball in the house. Don't use regeneration energy in the house because you're wrecking the house. I mean, I'm sorry, but the TARDIS does feel pain, and you break the TARDIS windows, it hurts. You start breaking columns and exploding. I mean, the TARDIS loves the Doctor, but she's pissed off that he's breaking everything, or she's breaking everything. So it's just a simple thing of, I don't think the TARDIS threw her out. I think it was this fact that the TARDIS was going to blow up and didn't want her to blow up. So it saved her just in case the TARDIS couldn't control it and the TARDIS actually would blow up. So it just kind of saved the Doctor. That's the way I look at it. Not that the TARDIS kicked her out that way. Yeah. TARDIS gave birth, spewing her out. Right. Well, that's weird how the TARDIS gave giving her biscuits, right? Okay. Well, I mean, you know what I mean, Paul. My thing is that I did 5 books in 1 year, so I was doing multiple things at the same time. But now this job is different than the other jobs I had when I was doing those books. So this job is more hands-on. This one, so it's kind of hard to do all that stuff at the same time. TARDIS lives do matter. Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, I mean, if I was a TARDIS too, I'd be like, get out. Look at when the TARDIS was rebuilding itself and it wouldn't even allow Matt Smith's Doctor in there until it was done. Remember that? And it's funny how the TARDIS had 2 different looks for Matt Smith. I don't think any other Doctor had. Well, no, I can't say that because Tom Baker did have another console room. But yeah, like the 2 different styles of Matt Smith's Doctor. It's like he changed as a Doctor and the TARDIS changed with it, right? So, but I do like the second Matt Smith TARDIS, and then as Peter Capaldi's evolved with the. I like that. I thought it was great. Although I think I like Matt Smith's second TARDIS better. And Snowman's the best introductory of that. So we got this situation with the filming, which is interesting. And a lot of people are confused because they're like, well, why can't they film now? And that's because basically Tyson Cole has a role. He has to start filming episodes. Amanda Gill is filming something. Bradley Walsh is filming something. And Jodie's doing a movie. So, it could be also that Chibnall has a problem with the scripts, maybe. After a while, if you remember with Moffat, he needed more time for stuff because he was doing Sherlock and different things. A battle TARDIS screen. Well, I mean, what I don't understand is if the Doctor kicked off Rassilon off Gallifrey, why doesn't like Rassilon come to Earth and start messing around? You know, why isn't the Ronnie? I mean, I know the Ronnie can't appear because Chibnall pissed off the creators, but it's not extended. The commission date of Doctor was not extended. BBC have not extended it. What does that mean? Well, in order for it to get extended, the ratings would have to be through the roof. And right now the ratings are not through the roof, so they're not comfortable in their product. So that being said, regardless of these deals with China and HBO Max, of course BBC could still pull the plug. And as far as we know now, until things change, the last Doctor Who story is the 60th. So I've said this, 7 months ago, that unless things change, the 60th anniversary is the last Doctor Who story. And we've had, Russell T. Davies got them to move the commission date a few times. We had Moffat got them to move the commission date because the success of Doctor Who. Hi, Liz. But Chris Chibnall has, I think of Chris Chibnall as a used car salesman. Like, he got China to buy into it, promising them a series of Doctor Who every single year. And he kind of like tricked them, because we got a series in 2018 and we got an episode in 2019, a special, and we got a series in 2020. So he kind of looked at the technicality, legalities, where they wouldn't get, I guess, really pull a fast one, I guess. So, he's kind of falling back on his promises. And then he has a deal with HBO Max, and they got till, China thing had till series 15. HBO Max had to series 14. So it's like, you have to, is it a whole bunch of things that are stopping it? The one thing that's not stopping Doctor Who is Doctor Who's already paid for. The money's there. They have their private accountant. They have, everything. So the money is not holding up Doctor Who at all. And he's wasting money like left and right going these places. Yeah, Bad Wolf, it could be extended tomorrow, or it could be extended 2022. But right now it's not. So, hey, Andrew. Well, that's the thing. Supposedly they were getting sued by the China deal, and as a compromise, Chris Chibnall said that they're going to go film Series 13 in China, maybe an episode or two, or maybe have an Asian companion. We don't know. But they don't want to lose that China money, so they had to make some secondary deal to kind of make them happy, and they would love to have their, themselves being promoted. So filming Doctor Who in China in Series 13, absolutely. Is it going to be one episode, or is it going to be the whole damn season? I doubt it'll be the whole season. But it could be 1 or 2 episodes, and they could even have an Asian companion, I guess. Or not. But we're definitely having filming in China in Series 13. As far as I know, 1 episode so far. Well, that's another thing too with the virus. They're not. How could you film in China now? That was before the deal was made. The secondary deal was made before this virus took place. So obviously, I doubt that. Maybe that's why it's a delay too. That a year from now, or a year, what's going to be the status with that? You know what I'm saying? Don't forget the keynote. That's not that's against the deal too. They can't do the green screen and fake it. But don't forget, it's not just like Doctor Who not filmed in China. Just think all the movies that rely on hundreds of millions of dollars from China cannot be in China. Then nobody's going to the movies because that stuff's going on. So all these companies are going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Black Widow could have probably made $200 million more. You know, so that China thing is in more ways than one. It's hopefully all these people. I hope nobody else dies from that because that's crazy. As long as it doesn't come here, the virus, which I think it has already, but we'll see. So what else, guys? Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, China right now they're focused on that one thing, right? So I doubt they're worried about anything else right now, or buying anything for that matter. Working a lot of hours, Paul. I tell you, the other day I was done. I want as much as I wanted to do podcasts, I couldn't. I was too freaking tired. God, ridiculous. So I still got to watch a podcast. Liz, from the other night, I got home late and stuff, and talking to the guys and stuff. So definitely catch that today. Still gotta watch Picard. Still gotta watch Supergirl. All these things I gotta watch. I'm gonna watch a movie too later. Let's see what else. Captain Jack is probably going to be in the Dalek special. Technically, it's he was there for I guess filming of it, like I said in the cast a while ago. You got a big team, Paul. How many people did I manage at one point in time? At one point in time I was a district manager. I had 8 stores, a lot of managers and stuff. But I have also had to merchandise, had to unload the trucks too. It's crazy. So as far as the channel goes, yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing: there's a big percentage of people that want the Dalek special to be Christmas because they want the Christmas special back, but Chibnall does not want the Christmas special back, even though the BBC don't do. But is that really a Christmas special with the Daleks killing people? I mean, it's not really themed to Christmas because from what we see, they're shooting people in the streets. There's going to be some deaths, and I don't know, probably New Year's. It's looking like New Year's Day, but Connor thinks it's Easter, but I don't see that happening because you want to push it as far from Series 12 as possible because they're not going to be ready filming Series 13. So that's why, anytime there was a special, they've never held a special for 10 months. It was 2 months, 3 months. They never held on to it like an insurance policy. So think about it. You should technically count the time that Doctor Who's off the air from March 1st on, and not count the special as being on it. Because what's happening with this is that was all filmed together, guys. So what you're going to do is you're going to go March, April, May, and then when it's 10 months later, it's going to be the special is going to be released, right? January. So then you're going to start counting from the special how long Doctor Who's off the air. And you can't really do it like that because it's technically, they were all filmed together, Series 12 and the special, right? So you should count from March, and you shouldn't count like a break in the period with, because that's how long Doctor Who's technically going to be off the air because there's nothing new filmed. The special was filmed at the same time with Series 12. So when they do their 10-month shoot, it's 10 plus 1. So pretty much. I would hope that the Daleks appear at the end. I mean, if I was writing it, I would make it that Jodie and the group didn't have time to breathe. They just get back and you start seeing Daleks exterminating people. And it's like, oh, crap. And then you're like, well, why'd this happen? And they're like, oh, the signal got out. Oops. And it took that time for the Daleks to get here from the message from Resolution. And it's like, oh, man. There you go. Can you imagine they did a sort of class thing with Doctor Who where, you know how class, I don't know if you guys ever seen Class, but they killed like some of the parents from the classmates, like just like the monsters like killed some of the parents. It was like, what? So you imagine they just have the Daleks coming in, they start shooting like Yaz's mom and dad and sister and just Ryan's friend, and it's just like it's really dark. You imagine that? And that causes the companions to not want to, they want to stay home and not, they're miserable, they're in mourning, they don't want to travel with her anymore. Could be like a Tegan thing. Remember with Tegan where she was tired of seeing all the death and she just stood behind? All right, Beowulf, go eat. I would like it to come out Christmas, but it'll probably be New Year's Day, 2021. And I'm definitely expecting Captain Jack in that. Definitely. My opinion, anyway. I think New Year's. New Year's. So another thing, too, I mean, here's the thing. If they finish filming Doctor Who in November of 2021, and let's do the math, okay? Like 10 episodes plus a special. I mean, it's not exactly the first week in November either. So, like, you're talking a split season, no? I mean, if you release it in December that goes into the next year, it's a split season, right? So you're going from one year to another year. So I know, but I like Tegan though. She was cool, Come on, I mean, I would take Tegan over Adric any day, but it would be nice to have Tegan show up and seeing how the Master reacts to her punching the Master in the face. That would be nice. Always wanted to see that. Even when I wrote like a treatment for Tegan coming back, I was like, definitely have the Master in it. Definitely punch the Master in the face. Jodie, like, here's the thing. I mean, I would think that whole cancer thing has to be brought up again with Graham before the season's over. I honestly think, I mean, the doctors told him it's not there, but then again, the doctor would know better than Earth doctors if it's still there, right? She did have personality, absolutely. I mean, even the 11th Doctor mentioned her, right? So, seeing her show up with previous Doctors or something like that would be good. So, I don't understand why we can't just have like David Tennant show up as a Doctor, because again, there's so much stuff that he did that we weren't aware of until we saw like Russell T. Davis's episode of Sarah Jane, right, with Matt Smith's Doctor, and he's talking about before he regenerated, he was watching all the companions and checking stuff out, and it's like, wow, he really held back that regeneration energy, right? So, like, and he did all that stuff before he, went to fight the Master. So there was a lot of adventures. So I for one, think that Chibnall does need to have new companions, but they're not going to do that. I mean, even Moffat said you need something different every year, and there's nothing different. It's the same companions, the same thing. There's no nuance to it. Even if you added a companion, you don't even do anything. I don't even think you can handle writing this many companions anyway. So, which as you know, I'm the one that wanted this. I'm the one that wanted, before we even knew anything, I'm the one that wanted tons of companions in the TARDIS. I said this before we knew if there was one companion or five. Like I said, I want it to be when like Tom Baker regenerates and Pete Davidson, you had all these companions in the TARDIS, or even like when Stolen Earth and Journey's End, everybody's in the TARDIS. I wanted that, you know. But it's one thing to want it, but then the writer's able to handle it, and I don't think he can handle it. And if I think he plays favorites. I think that he loves writing stuff about Graham and Ryan, mostly Ryan for some reason. But Yaz, it's like maybe they told him he had to have a female companion, and he's like, all right, but he's not giving her anything. I mean, that's another thing. You go to the movies to escape reality. Do you want to be reminded of stupid stuff? Like, I mean, when I read, I collect comic books, right? And I still read my comic books, and one day that's another thing on my list I want to write for Amazing Spider-Man. But do you want to read stuff in the comics about like politics and like voting and global warming and like all you see that every day in your life, but don't you want to escape? That's why you buy the comic, or that's why you go to the movies, to escape reality or take your mind off your problems and your bills and your stress for like 2 hours or whatever, and just like escape reality. Or that's why you play video games, kind of like to de-stress. I guess in my video, de-stress. You got to have a de-stressor in life, you know? So, like, people do that. Like, everybody does that. Some people exercise, some people walk, you know? So, pretty much that's that. So, what else? What else? What's up, Neil? You guys want to come in? I know Bad Wolf wanted to eat. Let's see. Let's see who wants to come in. You want to come in, Neil? I just sent you. I know. Let's see who could be coming. Mongo. You around, Mongo? James, you around? Let's see. James J. Who's around? Sending out the messages. Who's coming in? Let's see. Okay, dude. I know. You can't escape Doctor Who. You can't escape Real World when they keep shoving, you're throwing your bottles in the water, your plastics, you're this, you're that. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Like we were having this talk back in the day when I was younger. There was brown paper bags, and the reason why they stopped brown paper bags is because they said it was wrecking the environment. So they went to plastic bags. Now they're saying that plastic bags are bad, but now you're going back to the thing that you said were bad in the first place: brown paper bags. Like, what is it? There you go. And I think there was a scientist. Wasn't there a kid scientist that figured out how to way to destroy some things without wrecking the environment or something? I don't know. Thirsty or something. So, are you guys gonna like this episode this week? I mean, it looks good, but is it gonna be good? The Cybermen gonna be in it for like more than like 5 minutes? I mean, Is it, do they run out of money and this is going to be like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? Ooh, and running around like, ooh, and then boom, last 5 minutes, lone Cybermen. Better not be like that. I mean, I'm hoping that the Cybermen appear right off the bat, 10 minutes in, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those, you blink, you miss it type of things. Like the Dalek appearing in the Wedding River song, like 5 seconds in the beginning. So I'm hoping it's not like that, but we'll see. Yeah, why? Everybody knows there are Cybermen's in it. Why block it from the trailer? That's stupid. I don't know. These trailers, these music with the trailers haven't been that great lately. I don't know if he watches his own stuff because, again, I'm like looking at the power of 3. Remember that speech between the Doctor and Amy? That was powerful stuff. But people are saying Moffat wrote that. Like, did he? I mean, but don't you think they all take from the episodes? I mean, didn't you watch City of Death? And when the whole Clara thing happened with her split into million parts, didn't you think that's the Jagoff? That's Count Scorleone. That's what he split into what, 12 parts? Clara split into a million pieces. Plus, from City of Death, there was the cracks in time. There was like the time loop, right? So like all that was taken from City of Death, right? The whole damn season, in a way, or more than one season. I mean, it's City of Death. They just took tons of stuff from. Look at Moffat's time crash, where the 5th Doctor bumps into the 10th Doctor, right? That's a copy off of the 3 Doctors, where the 2nd Doctor had an explosion that canceled out the antimatter, matter and antimatter. Remember that? So Moffat did that 3 times, I think. He did it with Pandorica, he did it with the 5th Doctor, he did it with something else again too. So Brandon Morbius thing, I mean, it's time travel, isn't it? So, like I was saying in a podcast before, it's like if Tom Baker's doctor met Doctor number 27, and they had to hide the memory from him, so they would put something in his mind where he wouldn't see it. Then if he had to duel with Morbius, that would come out, but he wouldn't be aware of what that is. Because, I mean, you've had, like, say, the 5 Doctors, and how many... Look, the 2nd Doctor met, right? The 5 Doctors met the 6th Doctor. I mean, I'm not saying from Big Finish, I'm saying like in the regular episodes. So, like... David Aston.
Allah.
David?
50 minutes.
In the job. What's going on?
Oh, it's the usual thing.
We are live.
Yes. Don't worry, it's my new persona.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm fine. Don't worry. How are you doing?
Good, sir. How are you? I haven't talked to you in a while. Hey, there you are.
There we are,
man.
You've been doing it on your own for 50 minutes, then?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a live streams. You gotta do this now and then.
God, I'm back somewhere.
Jesus. What happened? You're like with Zamira. You're giving the tongue to like 13 people watch us right now.
Just water.
Water always wins. There you go.
It's water flavored water.
Okay. I just got my Poland Spring. That's how I'm doing it today. So how are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Can't complain. Well, you can, but most people
don't listen anyway. Right?
Do I look bad? I've noticed that before.
Do you look bad? You want me to tell in front of a live stream and for all these people if you look bad?
Honest opinion.
Well, being that I don't lie, you don't look good.
Nah.
But then again, I look worse.
Fuck them all.
Wait, I look worse than you do because I look like disgraziad. I mean, I got like my beard going. And it's like, what are you doing with this hair, mate? Are you gonna die?
I've become a Chinaman now. This
you look like you look like one of the Lost Boys that got lost. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and then it just looks like
either you look like someone that just got bit and became a vampire, or you look like you were in a club with vampires.
Really?
I don't know.
I look like a. Oh, it's
David Aston. That's the way it goes, baby.
That's the way it goes, am I?
That's right.
Oh, that's the way it goes, and that's the way life goes. So, what do you think of the recent Doctor Who?
I think it's shit. I mean, it's amazing how the Doctor doesn't give a shit when the companion's talking to her that he's worried about having cancer and dying, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the TARDIS console and not answer your questions." You saw that episode?
Oh, look at it. Oh, yes. I didn't see that, but I did read about it. I cannot understand how someone who's worried about, cancer or whatever.
Who is David Aston? You don't know who David Aston is? They still asking who you are? This is okay. Think of it as the Matrix movies, right? Oh, we just lost Jesus. That there was all these, like, how many times was Zion destroyed? Like 6 times? People are not going to get this reference. And then Neo came, right? Well, he's before me. How about that?
Yes.
He's the Doctor Who radio show, right?
Well,
you got your own show called the Doctor Who radio show.
It will come back eventually.
Hey, Neil.
Hi.
How are you, sir? Yeah, so David, people are asking who David Aston is. David Aston did the Doctor Who radio show on YouTube before I even did videos, when I was just
Who is the legend that is known as David Aston? Who is
That's right, you're right there. You're right there.
Who rides into town and bangs all the hot chicks and kills all the bad guys.
So we got Neil. What's going on, Neil?
Yeah, not bad.
Hey.
Bit of a lousy cold, actually, but
we're all sick. I think we're all sick. I'm sick too.
I haven't been anywhere near China, so I think I'm safe.
Yeah.
But it's one of those sort of times of the year where all sorts of things rear their ugly heads. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question. I mean, I've been talking about this on my podcast. I don't know if you've talked about it, but I mean, I think you and I talked about it maybe once. Could it be that the Doctor screwed up and altered her own origin by accident?
Well, that's an interesting one.
And basically, what happened is she screwed up history where instead of like her being born as a man at a certain time, like her parents, she altered her parents' thing, and she was conceived later or earlier, and it's different, looking different. It was a female instead of a male, and then all these new doctors are basically in the place of her doctors, and like they don't technically exist, like because she made a mistake.
Oh, right. They actually confirmed there's more than one female.
No. Well, yes, there would supposedly in the finale. There's supposed to be 2 more female or 1 female doctor showing up besides Ruth.
That could be anybody, couldn't it, really?
Well, where Chibnall's concerned, yes, anything could be possible. So it's very feasible that could be what they're trying to do. I'm still not certain what I think it's going to be yet.
I mean, technically, if it was that the first Doctor's a race, let's just say, right, and Ruth is the first Doctor, then technically she is the Doctor. And technically she is before, but it will be temporary because when the universe resets itself, she will be erased.
You've still, but you've still got this issue at the minute. The biggest elephant in the room is why has she got a police box as a TARDIS?
Right.
So if she's going to be before William Hartnell, I mean, the TARDIS only got stuck as a police box in Totter's Lane in 1963. So,
right.
I really, if he goes down that route and just ignores that fact, then he's a bigger hack than we already think he is.
Yeah,
but
basically.
If he, I still think he's going to try and shoehorn it in somewhere later down the line, purely because of the police box.
Hello, Gary.
Because I think he'd be really pushing the envelope if he decides that we're going to ignore the fact that the chameleon circuit only got stuck in Totter's Lane.
But then how could he say that she's after the first Doctor, because she can't be the second Doctor?
No.
I mean, are you going to say that the second Doctor got hurt in one of those mystery missions, regenerated, and then the Time Lords gave him back the regeneration and reverted him back to his previous incarnation?
Or wiped his memory of that regeneration.
Right.
That's a possibility. Or it's a possibility that Chibnall will come up with anyway. I mean, for me, the one that makes sense the most is between the second and third Doctors, because we didn't see the regeneration on screen. But yeah, it's Chibnall, so I don't. He really could throw everything.
I mean, Medic Crisis would be the only other thing. Medic Crisis got regenerations.
You mean the one, the David Tennant Metacrisis?
Yeah.
Again, I think he'd be changing things a lot if he decides to go down that route, because you've got he was supposed to be a human body, wasn't he? He got the Time Lord brain, but he got a human body, so the biology is different.
Right.
I mean, we tried to pick this apart a couple of weeks ago with all the different ones that were floating around, the alternate universe Doctors, the pre-Hartnell, the between second and third, one that's in the future. Right. They were the four main ones that we talked about.
Is it possible? I've just had a thought. This is a theory I've had. The one thing I've not seen anybody suggest ever, and I mean ever, is that when Dr. 12 regenerated and then the TARDIS hurtled, well, I mean, not just the TARDIS, but the Doctor as well, she didn't fall into her original universe or reality.
Well, we've talked about that too.
I was going to say we have brought that one up.
Everybody's talked about that.
It's a very strong possibility that she's the one in the wrong universe.
Right.
And everything else that's going on around her. I mean, that for me still hasn't been explained. The TARDIS clearly chucked her out. There was a big message on the screen about some sort of multiple operation failure, and that scene at the end of Twice Upon a Time, that police box is on an angle, literally shaking her out like there's a hand holding it. And if she has been shaken out and something's gone haywire and she's slipped into another dimension, then that could be the reason why we've got Doctors cropping up that she doesn't recognise, because they are Doctors from another universe.
And we've had Doctors from other universes in Big Finish. We technically got that now, right? David Warner is. And then we have Mark Gatiss as the Master from another universe, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then you've got the fact that Chibnall's actually done an interview and said there are no tricks. She's not an alternate dimension Doctor.
Because Jodie's in the wrong universe.
That would sort of play with what he's saying. So even
though he's saying it's not a trick, it is a trick. I mean, he is tricking everyone. I mean, he's not going to flat out say he did anything wrong. So
no,
he's fooling us somehow. But if they made it like the whole thing's a dream, that would be stupid too.
What if it's the Rani pretending to be a Doctor?
I don't think so.
The Ruth one, you mean? So pretending to be the Ruth Doctor, the one.
Yeah, he thinks the Rani. He's not allowed to use the Rani though. He pissed off the creators, didn't he? Shouldn't he?
He certainly did piss off Pip and Jane Baker. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not allowed to, unless he begged, pleaded, and gave them money, and then they're like, okay,
I suppose we don't really know behind the scenes whether the BBC have acquired the rights to the Rani pre-Chibnall.
Oh, that's a good idea. Gary Stewart just said something I thought was rather clever. She could be an alternative Gallifrey Doctor because the multiple timelines created by the radiation lost through destruction of our Gallifrey Eye of Harmony. It could have given off it could have been some sort of Omega antimatter energy that basically damaged the original timeline or some bollocks that I can't understand.
Gary said, didn't the 12th Doctor tell Bill he used to be a little girl? I think the Doctor lies, and I think he was just being sarcastic or being like funny.
I mean, we've seen, assuming that Time Lords don't ever revert back to a pre-adolescent state, we have seen the Doctor as a little boy, because that was in a Capaldi episode where he's a little boy.
Right.
So, but again, Chibnall could come up with some explanation as to why he wasn't a little boy.
Yeah.
But she might end up meeting, in the Brain of Morbius, you've got all those faces that were supposed to exist before Hartnell, so it's not even a new idea. Right. She wouldn't it be funny if she got to meet all these other alternative Doctors and they just happen to look like the ones from Brain of Morbius? That'd be clever.
I've always had a problem with that Brain of Morbius, though, because yes, there were these.
You could have Richard E. Grant appear. Joanna Lumley appear as their, Doctors.
Yep, from Curse of Fatal Death. Yep, absolutely. But I mean, that Brain in Morbius thing, though, you've got those faces on screen, and we're assuming that they are pre-Hartnell Doctors or Doctors we haven't seen. But who's to say they weren't? Well, because of the way a Time Lord's brain works, and they're aware of everything past, future, and present. Who's to say they're not images in the Doctor's brain of future Doctors?
Correct.
We've got Paul McGann in the cast now. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, and that's again, we'll look at all the times that the 5 Doctors, the 2 Doctors, the 3 Doctors, if that memory is protected somewhere, right? And say the 4th Doctor will encounter Doctor number 20, but then the memory can't surface. So when he's having a duel like that, it just manifests, oh, I've seen that Doctor, but it's not a previous Doctor.
Well, this is what makes me think that Chibnall's going to have to do something really, really outrageous, because the fact that you mentioned the 5 Doctors, obviously, the 5th Doctor actually says in that story, when the 1st Doctor says to him, regeneration, he says 4th. So, and then he says, oh, so there are 5 of me now. So they assume at that point that they are the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th Doctors.
Right.
Now, so he's going to have to do something. If he's going to go for anything anywhere in the run between Doctor 1 and Doctor 13, if he's going to say it's somewhere in there, he's going to have to say there's some memory tampering been going on.
Right.
Because otherwise, why wouldn't any of the previous incarnations remember this Ruth one?
Yeah.
It'd be good. I wish they would do this. They could bring back old classic Doctors, but have them all sort of look older. That'd be a good, if they were alternative older Doctors. And the 2nd Doctor was older but this is where the whole 6 leads comes from. How do we know that wasn't even our universe Doctor? It could have been an alternative reality where, the 2nd Doctor and Jamie never stopped traveling together until he could become someone else, presumably.
I mean, it looked to me like they took him out of time. He was aging. He had tons of missions for Gallifrey that we weren't aware of.
Yeah.
And then when they put him back, his age was restored. No memories of that, blah, blah, blah. But the first thing he did when he went on missions was to restore the memories of his companions to assist him. And then they put them back, I guess. Or they maybe didn't make them forget again. Maybe they just didn't any memory.
That is kind of abuse of power for the Time Lords, isn't it, really?
Gary's just said something interesting in the comments as well. In the 3 Doctors, the Time Lords do state that Hartnell is the earliest version of the Doctor.
Right.
And that's the Time Lords stating it. So
yeah, so you can't change that.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you can
change anything.
Right. Yeah, I know everything's right.
So I've got no doubt in my mind that he will rewrite something to fit what he wants to do.
You can change it, but I can change it back, and then I can change it, and then you can change. It's
a never-ending cycle.
It's like Bill and Ted, where they're facing off in Bogus Adventure, facing off against the bad guy, and said, but I went back to it, but I did this before.
Well, that's where Moffat took the time travel theories from.
Yes, of course.
Oh. I mean, I did say something similar a couple of weeks ago, that because there were a lot of people. The one night I was talking to somebody, and there was a lot of people complaining about Chibnall's writing at the minute. And I said, look, all the things that Chibnall are doing at the minute can't be undone by a future showrunner. Because if Chibnall thinks he can rewrite something, there's no reason why a future showrunner can't rewrite them again.
Which I'm sure that if people hate it that much, if there's a future showrunner,
they will
change it. They'll change it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't think the writers have ever really stuck to the things confirmed. And since the beginning, everything was being changed or evolved, wasn't it? Really?
Well, I mean, all the way through the classic series, obviously, they kept coming up with new ideas, but we hadn't got anything to compare it to then. So, I mean, I watched from about somewhere about 77, 78, and there were a lot of things then starting to be introduced that there was never any reference to before. So you hadn't got a problem with it, because it was like, oh, we didn't know that about the Time Lords. That's great. But the mistake that Chibnall's making is he's going against things that have been said before. So, it's fine to come up with something new that nobody's ever heard of, because you can't say that it's not something a Time Lord can do if it's never been referenced.
Right.
But when there's something that's already been referenced and you then change it, that's where he becomes the hack that he is.
Why can't Ruth just be a future self of the 13th Doctor?
That
would be better.
But then why doesn't she recognise Jodie?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a Doctor who's after her. I mean, I was thinking about this, and this would be if they did this would be taking that whole Matt Smith appearing in Capaldi's first story, but reversing it. Ruth, if they could have this Ruth Doctor and then get this actress to play the next Doctor, and that would be that would be a wonderful thing to do. In terms of viewers, you wouldn't have to set her up at all. You'd be able to go straight into her first adventure and already know what type of Doctor she is.
But they did that with Capaldi, though. He appeared in Day of the Doctor, right? So
he did. You saw his eyes, didn't you, in the clips?
Yeah, but you'd actually be able to see the Doctor's. Well, depends where in her timeline she is, her personal timeline. But you could have for the actress, you could play a sort of less developed one, and then sort of slowly sort of put into place sort of thing. Yeah?
I mean, technically, he could make her the 14th Doctor. And if Jodie left in Series 13 and Series 14, she could be a Doctor. And if Chibnall did 5 series, he could only have her for a year and then bring another Doctor in, and whatever. But
it wouldn't surprise me if he did that now. But nothing he does surprises me anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't think just in terms of the physical actress, I think she's temporary. I don't think we're going to see her again. After this story has played out, I don't think we'll see her again. But as to how she fits in, that is still just up in the air, and I don't think anybody's got it yet.
Yeah, Gary said, do you think Dr. Ruth will be the Timeless Children? Well, here's the thing. Remember they kept saying the Timeless Child, the Timeless Child. Now we got an episode called Timeless Children.
Yeah.
So now, is this Chibnall's way of fooling us, where he's not talking about the Timeless Child, but he's talking about the Cybermen, because the Cybermen don't age, and he's like making it like trying to trick us, where...
Well, yeah, because it is all about...
the Timeless War.
It's all about Cyber War. So, that could be a possibility.
I was absolutely overjoyed, everybody. Not my Doctor, and of course Matrix Lord, and anybody else watching. As for me taking my shirt off, who knows? Basically,
somebody in the comments asked him to take his shirt off. That's right.
When I saw the new Star Wars Cybermen, I thought, oh, finally they've gone back to a potpourri, as Sylvester McCoy would say, of all the best sort of
I was really impressed with the head. Really impressed with the head. It does seem to be a bit of a mismatch in the rest of it. It's like part of the new ones and part of the shoulders looked a bit like the Russell T Davies ones, and it was a bit of a mixed mess of it. But the head I was very impressed with. What worries me though is if he's done something, and he's done this so far since he's took over, if he does something I like, he'll do 12 things I don't like.
Yeah.
Does it
That's true.
I think that.
No, you're right.
Is it? I've noticed that you got that rusty Cyberman, and then you got you got the new ones. Does this imply that a cyber racer on sort of hard times? Essentially they've been beaten too many times, maybe.
Well, I'm guessing that bashed up one is going to be the lone Cyberman that Jack talked about.
Oh,
I have a feeling too that unfortunately the Doctor's not going to listen to Captain Jack,
no.
And she's going to give the Cyberman what he wants.
Well, if it's as we've pointed out before, we know that Captain Jack Harkness theme was shoehorned into that episode, so that was decided to be done afterwards.
Right.
Now, the whole story about the 2-part finale was probably even filmed before Jack's bit was put in. So they've either done something in this finale that they think, oh, well, we can mention the Lone Cyberman and that will fit, or it's going to be completely out the window, as Joe just said, and she's not going to do anything that Jack asked her to do, and she's just going to do everything she was originally going to do because it was written and filmed before Jack Harkness's scene was.
Right.
So, I mean, it's been so badly put together, this series. I mean, there were no... How would you not mention in the following episode from the Fugitive of the Jadoon that we just met a previous Doctor?
Correct. Like they were out of order. Yeah. Correct. That stuff was before that.
Yeah. So
Jadoon was supposed to be 8, right?
I don't know what number it was.
I think it was supposed to be 7. I think it was supposed to be 7. No, it was supposed to be 7. And then the Lone Cyberman is supposed to be 8.
Right.
I think. And I hate when they do that. That drives me nuts.
Well, that's a good point. You can't. I can understand if they're filming it out of order, but when you've got some big revelation like this new Doctor, you can't. It's like after Adric died, and they were all sort of almost happy-go-lucky about it.
Yeah, but at least they did reference it correctly though when Adric died, and they did know he died, and they sort of did mention him, and then he had his little cameo in the next story.
It was extra crispy. The dinosaurs had a nice bit of KFC.
Have you ever seen? There's a DVD extra on I think it's either on the Earthshot one or the Time Flight DVD, where somebody's done an animation of what happens to Adric after the freighter crashes into Earth.
Oh my God, did they?
And it basically gets eaten by a dinosaur. But it's I just think that whole Jack. Well, we know it was. It's pretty obvious that the whole Jack thing was done purely just to try and boost the ratings in the middle of the series.
Which they did kind of.
It did briefly, but then the following week it lost all but about 20,000 of the ones it gained. So it's not helping it.
There was that article too. They lost 1 million fans. Is that true?
You mean from the start to now?
Yeah.
In consolidated overnights from the start to now, it's lost about 1,200,000
fans or views, whatever, right? Wow.
Yeah. If you go in terms of what it's lost from Jodie's first episode to now, you're talking 5,700,000 viewers.
Wow.
Why is it losing viewers after a big, fantastic revelation like Ruth?
Because I think people are noticing the same things we are, and they're not. It's all a jumbled mess, and it's not making sense. You've got to. The trouble is with a program like Doctor Who, and we've said this before. The social issues, all the PC nonsense and all that sort of stuff, it doesn't work in science fiction, and all these sort of episodes where we've got about plastic's bad and we're killing the planet. They don't want to see it in science fiction.
And you could have had Sea Devils too with it, and you wasted it.
That Praxeus episode would have been 500% better if it had been the Sea Devils causing all the problems.
Yes.
But Chibnall's not. He's not going to think of that because he's not.
Is it a lack of? Would you say a lack of consistency is putting off viewers?
It could well be, yeah. I mean, in terms of the actual shows on the BBC on a Sunday evening, there is.
I thought it was all Jodie's fault, or these evil sexes that are apparently forcing the writers to do a bad job.
That there is no way the loss of the amount of viewers that's lost is all because it's a female doctor. Absolutely no way. People are just not interested in the stories that he's putting in.
Chibnall just. What if? Oh, I have a question. What if the lone Cyberman is after the Master? Because of the Master constantly manipulating the Cybermen from the very beginning through different things, even in the Five Doctor, all these different things. Like the Master is constantly, even as Missy, manipulating the Cybermen, and they've had it.
He'll probably go, I am your...
They want the Master, and they want the Doctor to give the Master up, and she won't do it. Or she will do it.
Well, there has to be something to do with the Master in it, because she's mentioned that she's still looking for the Master.
Right, she thinks he escaped. She's pretty sure he escaped. But yet, how could he escape when he couldn't escape human captivity?
Again, that's just a stroke of a pen, isn't it? And Chibnall comes up with an invention to make it so that
to make it that he's in jail for 80 years because he can't escape a human prison, yet he can escape another dimension.
Assuming that he wanted to escape, I suppose. In terms of the character, I think the Master does everything for a reason. So,
well, if he couldn't escape because he had to catch up to his TARDIS,
yeah,
that would make sense.
So rather than try and...
It's the Master buggering things up and the Doctor has to save his ass, or her ass.
But if that's the way to catch up to the Doctor, because the Doctor has his TARDIS.
In Spyfall, yeah.
Then staying in prison until he gets caught up with... Right, well...
And let's face it, I suppose if you're stranded on Earth without your TARDIS, staying in prison, at least you're getting fed every day. So,
I guess, yeah.
Andrew Law has written, how did the Doctor never meet Gat, Ruth, and Lee before?
I mean, I think that's in her future. I don't think it's in her past.
Oh.
That's what I think. I mean, Gat, for some reason I thought Gat would be like Raslan's daughter or something, or whatever. Or maybe not even, because she said they defend the honor of Gallifrey, but not necessarily. I mean, she looked her up. She is a Time Lord, I guess, right? Gat was a Time Lord? Or she was Gallifreyan. But she wasn't a Time Lord, was she?
Well, we don't know. She just said she was Gallifreyan.
But they killed her with the gun.
Did Ruth say what she was doing? Because she was fleeing
We don't have
no, that's going to be part of the big reveal, isn't it?
She used the chameleon arc, didn't she? Basically, to hide herself.
Yeah,
to hide herself. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Which, I don't know. But I'm still.
I just think it's. I really, honestly believe that we may have little bits, we may be close on it, but I don't think we're going to have the entire story. Because
I just hope he resolves it where he doesn't wreck history.
Yeah,
he knows he will destroy Doctor Who if he keeps it that way. He has to know this.
He's famous.
I think he's already.
He's
already 2/3 of the way there to doing that. To be honest, he's got to come out with something. I've seen even sort of extremely happy with Jodie fans are not happy with what's going on in.
Oh no, we have another faction now, right? There's factions that think that Chibnall disrespected Jodie's first Doctor moment, making another Doctor before her. They're not happy with that. Then there's other fans that are happy with Ruth and want Jodie out.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. I think the fandom is split in 4 pieces.
The thing is, Stephen Moffat said this while he was still in charge. And he said the time will be right for a female Doctor when that person is right for the role. Now, Chibnall went into it wanting a female doctor. He didn't just interview half a dozen men, half a dozen women, and pick the best person for the role. He wanted a woman before it even started, and that's the wrong way to do it.
He wanted Olivia Colman. She was busy.
I think
she
Jodie
didn't
is
want
a
to do
good
it.
doctor, more or less. But I think they should have let Jodie have more input into how to play the Doctor. I mean, that's how it usually.
But she wouldn't know because she didn't know what Doctor Who was. She didn't watch it. So it only is now she's been watching it. She can put input into it now, but not before.
There have been so many different clips that show that she was not knowledgeable. She didn't know anything about the character. She didn't do any research on the character, although we think she was told not to by Chibnall.
No, she was ordered. She said it in interviews. She was ordered not to watch it, and that's why she joked with the reporters when Series 11 was filmed. She's like, now that I'm on break, I can do whatever I want, and I can research it as much as I want to research it.
Do you think any sort of major actor, any A-list actor in this world at this precise moment would be happy with not researching a character?
But she's not an A-list actor.
Well, no, but she's taking over an A-list show.
Okay, but here's the thing. Chris Chibnall's her buddy. He was her boss in Broadchurch. She's trusting his direction until
that might have been a mistake.
Until her brother basically watched all the videos about her and sent her some, and then she made a conscious decision. Well, technically, I'm not in their control when I'm on break, so I'm gonna binge watch it. Now, she did binge watch it because she went on Jimmy Fallon's show, Tonight Show, and said, I binge watched Doctor Who. I researched it. Now she started entering competitions with David Tennant to test his brain, see if she knew more than him. Like she's been watching it like crazy because she really wants to be better in the role. That's why I think it's not entirely her fault.
So I'll throw this one at you then. If she has now researched the character a lot more, and in this series, why does she think it's acceptable for the Doctor to do what she did to Graham at the end of the last episode?
She doesn't, because here's the thing. She just watched the Doctor do all the stuff, right? She is doing what she did with Series 11. Her brother gave her all the videos about whatever, and she corrected that behavior, supposedly, right?
When a family member of yours has to interfere because the producer was in...
Correct. So what's going to happen now is when Series 12 is done, because she's told she can't watch any of that stuff now, like she can't watch anybody's opinions that will affect her acting. Which technically now that it's finished, like she's not filming, I'm sure she's being educated about the overall consensus that people are pissed with her for doing that scene, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure that the next season she will have massive input into him, saying, look what you did, because now your writing is directly affecting my popularity, directly getting people to hate me. Before they didn't want me, they didn't like me, they didn't know me. Now that they have 2 seasons on my belt, now some people hate me for what you had, your writer, and you put into it. So now I don't want to be portrayed like that.
I was going to say, I think when she first took over, I think the split was more 50-50 in whether people liked her and people didn't like her. Now, I think we're maybe 70-30 that don't like her.
I think it's more like 80-20. Right?
Well, it might be, yeah. It might.
I'm pretty sure. So the thing is, too, this whole marketing campaign that they wanted to have merchandise, that failed because the T-shirts with Hot Topic weren't good enough. They didn't showcase the actual episodes of villains. That just showing stupid shit like how to fix a plane or how to land a plane as a T-shirt. Nobody wants to buy that. And nobody wants to buy an animated thing from the Eternals either. That's stupid. But if you had a Master shirt, okay. If you had, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't know how to they don't know how to make anything.
Well, the Doctor Who magazine's a prime example of that, isn't it? Because the one where there was a Master version and a Doctor version, everybody wanted the Master version, nobody wanted the Doctor version.
Correct.
And apparently this has been well noticed already that anything with her face on it is not selling as well.
Correct. So then what you do as an ad campaign, as a marketing campaign, is you make figures of tons of villains, and you do an occasional Doctor figure here and there, But every single villain that appears in the season, the lone Cyberman, there's a figure. The redesigned Cyberman, there's a figure.
From a merchandising point of view, yeah, that's what they should have done, because they know that the Jodie stuff's not going to sell. So if they want things to sell, do everything else.
Back when I worked in toy stores and I used to put out the action figures, you could tell inside the case what was the hot selling thing. When they had Spider-Man figures, most of the figures were the villains and not multiple Spider-Man. When they had Superman figures, like say they had a line for Superman Returns, you would have 4 different Superman and a Lex Luthor, which was a human. So it's like, what could the kids really play with? Then when you had the Fantastic Four figures, they would only have 2 Fantastic Four out of the 4. It's like, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was a failure. So you have to look at the figure line, let's say the action figure line, and say, okay, you have the Doctor, you have the companions, where's the monster? And then it's like, well, how could you, as a kid, in a kid's mind, you have the Doctor and the companions, who are they going to fight with? Rocks? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, they need to have action figures. First wave, Jadoon, Master, Eternals, like that stuff needs to be a part of that. Even the T-shirts, you put the Master on a shirt. You even put the Kelly, the creepy old guy, on a shirt. But they're not doing that.
I mean, character options are clearly being very cautious because they don't want to make a load of stuff that's not going to sell.
But here's the thing: if you were making a T-shirt after the episode aired, then if they were smart, they would capitalize on people who liked Ruth, and they would have a Ruth T-shirt the week after that will probably sell through the roof for the people that like the Ruth character.
Mm-hmm.
But they lost that opportunity because people would have bought that were against Jodie. You would have an audience for different things. You know what I'm saying?
There seems to be less merchandise than, say, in Tennant's era. I mean,
even if she doesn't sell, right? It's okay. You could work around that. You could make figures of other stuff in that season. You don't need to make a Jodie figure all the time. Just one figure. And then all these other assortments, they could be, like, you notice how the Titans, the blind box Titans stopped all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Where we don't have a whole set of Jodie and her villains? Nothing. We just have one Titan figure of Jodie. Why is that? Why don't we have, like Series 11 Titan figures? We don't have that.
A lead character, is only as good as the people around her and how it's popular. Yeah, I mean, that's why after all these years, the Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith or the Unit family still sells well, and it's the same reason why Luke or Leia and Han and Chewbacca.
Right. I just want to answer John's. John said something. He said, "I wouldn't wear a Ruth T-shirt." Understandable. And here's the thing. But there are people on Twitter and different things that do like the Ruth character. So as a business standpoint, if you want your product to make money and you know there's a demand for some people that like the Ruth character, you would make a Ruth T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Even though I know you wouldn't wear a Ruth T-shirt, I wouldn't wear a Ruth T-shirt, right? There are some people that would. I mean, look at we have now. We have the TARDIS and a rainbow, TARDIS and unicorns. What does that have to do with the, you know what I'm saying? Like, now we have a shirt, I'm Doctor, the Doctor. Okay, but where, again, if the Master, if they had a shirt with him with that hat on and everything, Sacha Dhawan, that would be a cool thing. I was interested in making a mug of Sacha Dhawan's Master because it looks cool.
I think it still comes back to the fact that they've seen that they would have noticed the backlash when the Jodie was first announced. So they'd have immediately gone onto the cautious back foot because they would think, right, we're going to see how this plays out before we start producing molds and all sorts of different things that we may get lumbered with. And there were already people saying from conventions that nobody wanted the stuff from the current series. They all wanted previous Doctors and classic series merchandise. So I think character options have literally just gone on a very, very cautious standpoint. And I mean, they have just released I
think it's Chibnall that stops it. I honestly think as a showrunner, he controls whatever people see of his series, and he doesn't want nobody to know nothing about nothing. I think he never had an experience with Broadchurch, where they had Broadchurch figures or demand for it for that matter. But
I don't know how much truth there was in it, but there was a rumor out just towards the end of last year that a lot of the merchandising companies were dictating to the BBC, not the other way around. Because
I think Chibnall wouldn't allow anything.
Right.
Because here's the thing, right? How long did we have to wait before we got a Tim Shaw Funko Pop? Or to Ping? A whole year. I mean, come on, man. And not only did you only created this much merchandise for Funko Pops, where you had a Funko Pop for Missy, you had a Funko Pop for the 12th Doctor, you had a Funko Pop for Clara. I mean, how many Missy figures do we have? Now you got Tim Shaw and the Patig.
To be fair, though, Missy was a lot more popular than Jodie.
Yes, but here's the thing. I'm talking about in general. Like, in general. We got 2 whole figures. I mean, what's up, Matt?
Oh,
hello, Matt.
Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Hello.
Oh, my goodness, you've been going this long?
Yeah.
He has. He's doing a marathon.
I was putting my niece and nephew down to bed an hour ago when this stream started, and you're still going?
Yeah, I'm still going.
I see you.
Says hi, Matt.
You're not incognito tonight, then, Matt.
What you mean, like last night on the?
Like last night, yes.
Okay, that chat was making me laugh, though. I apologise for demonetising you. I'm so sorry, but it had to be done that one day.
I'm not monetised in the first place, mate, so you've got no worries there.
They demonetised me before, but...
All right, it's because the monitor of your chat was like, keep it clean, keep it clean.
That's purely just because I don't want it to descend into the level of some I've seen. But
right, like the last cast we had, dude.
But I was surprised with that last cast. There really was the amount of filth that popped on it.
I was not happy. But I mean,
it's in our case, it's a start as you mean to go on thing. Really, we just don't want to try it. We want to try.
You know what it is when you start going off tangent, then you lose the whole point of the cast and we talking about. So I felt our last cast earlier today. I didn't like the way it was.
I thought it was going well. There was some really good points, and then it went into satire.
Right, we're talking about our cast we did this morning.
Yeah.
I was not happy. No, but we were demonetized. And I appealed it, and we got it back. So, okay, we got a pass.
I don't have to worry about that yet. At my level, I'm not going to need to worry about that for a while yet.
Yeah.
I just had a thought before young beautiful Rose came in. Basically,
that's not Rose Tyler.
Rose Tyler.
I know.
Well, it's just. We're talking about merchandise and the lack of other characters apart from Her Highness Jodie Whittaker. But the thing is, nowadays, TV ratings are important, yes, but merchandise, particularly figures and comics and all that sort of thing, they make a lot of the bread and butter for a company. When it comes to a product. So the BBC are fucking themselves royally up the Jackson,
right?
By screwing up what essentially is not only promotion in theory. Like the stories about this figurine gives people a preview accidentally of accidental leak. It gives you a preview of this film or whatever. But the problem is it also keeps people watching. It's like if people see, what's this weird character? Oh, that's later in the series. Oh, I wonder what that is. And then they watch the episode. Or they buy it afterwards because they like the episode. It's not just short term, it's long term.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've got everything wrong. I mean, I was never happy with the fact that, and I'm sure this was down to Chibnall, as Joe says, that he decides to rebrand all the classic merchandise with the new logo. Because
I was very angry with it.
Because a lot of the stuff that Big Finish have to use like her logo for it, and that's for the classic Doctors.
I bought I bought the season 12 on the North American release on Blu-ray this week.
Right.
Because it was cheaper than the UK release.
Mm.
So I bought it. But I was not happy with that cover. And that's the cover it came with. So I scanned it in, and I've done it with a classic logo.
Nice. Wow.
So
Cool.
same cover, but I've just rescanned it and done it in my own way. And I shall do that with every release that comes out, because I don't. When you put those next, I've got behind me. You can see I've got the entire classic DVD collection.
Yeah.
Now, if I start collecting these Blu-ray ones and they're in that logo, classic shouldn't be in that logo.
Correct. I agree. I'm telling you right now. I said the same thing.
Yeah, and that's purely Chibnall, and this comes back to what Joe just said about it being Chibnall controlling it. Chibnall just wants everything branded in his ideas and his logo.
Yeah, because even all the audio books now, like BBC release, has it on, and that's with like people like Louise Jameson and Katie Manning, people that have nothing to do with the modern series.
No,
good point.
So, but that's Chibnall's ego.
I just want to show, like, we get the Funko Pop after a while of Jodie, then with the steampunk glasses, then the Clara TARDIS. You know, we have this is all Doctor merchandise, right? A Funko Pop.
Just go back up a minute, Joe. Look at the difference in the price, though, for David Tennant.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't want to go on a rant, but it's like they have to make because she's female, everything she's bigger and better, and you know, it's like male characters can't ever defeat or talk to female characters when you can't have a male. You don't see a male character sort of talking over.
I mean, how bad is it for Jodie when her character doesn't fetch as much as Rory, the Last Century?
I was just going to say that.
And the thing is, as well, I see many autographs that are sold through like eBay, Amazon, and all that, and it's really bad when you see them go to like the 2 pence, 10 pence to get rid of them, and the Jodie stock's probably going to be down that route if they can't sell them.
Nobody wants to buy it.
Look at that Jodie figure down there, $640.
This is the case everywhere. There's a store in the UK, B&M stores, and they had exclusive rights to some of the character options figures, and anything that was to do with Jodie's series was left on the shelves and reduced.
The tiny Sarah Jane Smith and the tiny. Oh wow, I like that. I like that Weeping Angel one.
Yeah, she's not. I'm not. I'm really not saying it's all her fault. I think if the writing had been better, she may have done better. But unfortunately, the grand experiment has failed.
And again, and I stand by it. I feel like it is like Colin Baker's era again. You're given a showrunner not certain what to do, terrible scripts on purpose, and just as you're starting to love her, it's like you've got that fear: is the show going to be pulled? We have no Michael Grade, but it feels like it's going to be pulled under the rug at some point.
But if we do finally get a new Doctor and a new I mean, I know in the 80s there wasn't a new showrunner, but if we finally do get a new Doctor and they try and pull it back again, if you see a Licorice Allsort character walking around, you know it's going to die. Because basically,
the Candyman.
I love the Candyman, by the way, even though he's corny. I love it.
But the trouble is, when you saw that in the 80s, did you not just think, what has happened to Doctor Who?
Right.
When you've got
to
me, Candyman was enjoyable. It was so funny. I liked it. I see that stuff. You have to understand. Remembrance of the Daleks, all these different. You know what I'm saying? I love that stuff.
Yeah, but Remembrance of the Daleks was actually a really good story, and there's certain ones in Chibnall's era that I liked.
Yeah.
But the
I stepped out of the TARDIS, and I was adored.
That's a nice look at Tom Baker with Davros. That's nice, bro.
Genesis.
I was going to say it's Genesis of the Daleks.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Wait a minute, there's no Phil Collins. Where's Phil Collins? It's supposed to be Genesis.
Yeah, that's not no jacket required.
Two hearts living in just.
What's going on?
The lack of neither.
What's going on, bro? How are you?
Pretty good. I thought you guys talking about merchandise and stuff. Now this week.
Well, that will still sell.
Or next week,
Yes.
we should be getting our Build-A-Bears for Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, because look at those box sets. All these classic box sets that get snatched up, put straight to eBay. Blu-ray for like modern Doctor Who up until Jodie, they all seem to be struggling to sell. But anything up to Capaldi goes as well. So it seems like something's going on there.
Well, this is why I've ended up having to buy a North American release of season 12, which is branded slightly differently in North America. It's branded Tom Baker's season 1, but it's still the same set and it's exactly the same discs and special features. But I got that for 18 UK pounds, and it's going on eBay. The UK version of it is going on eBay for sort of £165 plus. So,
are they not pressing enough? Are they not making enough?
Well, it's in the UK.
But
in the UK they've only released the limited edition ones in the big fancy boxes and all that. But
Right.
the North American release is just in the standard Blu-ray Amaray case, which
Okay.
I'm fine with, and I don't mind that because it'll fit my shelf a bit easier. But it's just that the price. I mean, luckily this was somebody in the UK who'd got a copy of it, so I managed to get it even cheaper. But I've just ordered season 18 on the North American release as well,
Right.
and managed to get that cheaper than it was released over here, because that one's now going for sort of 4 times its original price. So
Yeah, they're even that cheap here for us. Like at Barnes and Nobles, which is a bookseller media store, they're like $60, and then you got to wait for them. Sometimes they have a good sale where they're 50% off, so you wait,
Right.
you get them good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, with
waiting
something
game like anything else.
luckily with
Barnes and
something,
Noble had a problem with. I'm sorry. Barnes and Noble had a problem with Tom Baker's set because they messed up on the music track, and I was going to buy the soundtrack or something, and they had to issue people refunds.
Yeah, the North American, and I think the UK version did too, didn't
yeah,
it?
there were a couple of discs they had to re-release.
Where they had to re-release the discs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also messed up. Was it the Macro Terror also?
But it was actually only on the special features. The episodes were fine. It was
Okay.
something on some. It was something on some of the special features on the disc that they had the
But
problem.
I hate that because you spend that kind of money. Now you got to bring it back, and everything. Why don't you have it right the first time instead of just rushing it out?
Well, yeah.
But
And they did it, and apparently they've had to re-release one of the discs for the season 18 set of Tom Baker's as well.
didn't they have to do something with Peter Davidson's as well? I heard.
I've not got as far as looking for that one yet because I'm waiting for it to come down a bit. I'm waiting for it to come down more in price. But it's
I have to go to Barnes and Noble to see what they have lately because I think that's where you could the Tim Shaw Funko Pop. Oh no, the Pating Funko Pop is in Barnes and Noble, I believe, but the Tim Shaw is a Hot Topic exclusive. So that I gotta buy. That's the only 2 Funko Pops I don't have a Jodie thing like her said.
right.
Which I collect them so. But I do want the Titans back. I miss the Titans because the small, I have them all over my fridge, but they don't have anything for Jodie stuff today. And I don't like the ones that they have now. It looks like the guy from Sounds and Alarms. At the end.
And I mean, I don't know whether you've seen the new stuff that they're bringing out from the character options. They've just brought out a Jodie. They've just brought out the Resolution Dalek. They've just brought out a Graham. And they brought out Jodie's police box.
Right.
Now, the Graham, I'm certain, and a lot of people have said this, because Character Options did the Primeval figures as well. Do you remember the TV series Primeval?
Yes.
And the Graham, I am certain, is a repainted Stephen Hart from Primeval.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right.
Didn't they repaint David Tennant as Jodie? Because I remember it was a Christmas ornament. And
somebody said that the face looked more like David Tennant. Yeah, I didn't look at the figure.
I did a whole cast on that. Yeah. That pretty much. All right, so I want to look at this character options. We covered this before.
But
I guess this is.
It's about the character options are going down and cheaper with their figures as well.
This is what you're talking about. Like this is from the back when they had it originally. They showed.
Is that the one with her TARDIS? I think is that the wrong colour for hers?
That's not her TARDIS. I think.
No, that's a classic series one. But they've. I don't mind the police box. It's when you step inside it that you feel sick. But
I think the best thing people want so far is not her merchandise, but all the Joe Martin merchandise.
Well, we've just been talking about that, about putting her on a T-shirt and it might have sold, but yeah.
Do you know what I will say I do miss from Doctor Who is when they did those sets where you could get like the TARDIS, like they were pain to build, but they were lovely. The ones that have the working sounds of the console rooms.
I bought the first one they brought out, the David Tennant one, and my kids had the Matt Smith version, the first Matt Smith one.
Yeah.
Graham looks like Steve Winston, the $1 Million Man.
But does anybody actually remember Graham wearing a coat with pockets like that?
No.
I don't remember him wearing one. So.
No, I don't know where they got this from. I mean, the Jejune one I would buy too, but.
But my eldest lad has got some of the Primeval figures, and the Stephen Hart looks just like that, just repainted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they might have put a different head on it, but the figure is absolutely the Stephen Hart figure. So they're trying to cut costs wherever they can.
And you got these guys too, the Hero Collector set.
Yeah. Oh, that's the ones from the magazines, isn't it? With those hexagon bases on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They give us one. They throw us one bone, though. You know what I'm saying? They thank you for a Jejune figure, and of course we get a Dalek. But where are the other figures? Like, why can't we just get them? I don't understand.
Well, again, in terms of the Jejune, it's because it's a mold they've already got, so they'll bring it out. The Dalek one, I'm guessing that had to be a new mold because there's no. I don't. That
looks new. That looks new.
Well, yeah. I can't remember even in 50 odd years of Doctor Who having a Dalek.
It didn't look like that, no.
No, so that's got to be a new. That's got to be a new mold.
They're going to restyle the Jack ones.
You got there first.
But you know, it's happening that the merchandise for this era is not selling.
Definitely not.
Just those prices alone that you just showed for the Funko Pop stuff. It's it's ridiculous how different they are. The current Doctor can't command more than $10.
No,
and you've got previous and when you see Rory in his bloody Centurion outfit going for more money, something drastically is wrong.
Absolutely right.
Yeah,
100%. I'm telling you. But let's take a look at the Hot Topic stuff because again they're not. What happened?
There's a question. Do you guys think it's good we have to wait 18 months?
No. Anytime you have a long period of time from Doctor Who, it gets worse and worse. So any momentum that you build, you lose.
Oh,
so
shit, it's 18 months, just like back in 85.
Yes.
That's a brilliant omen, that is.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the whole thing was supposed to be a series every year. That was what he promised. That's already gone out the window. So
here's this shirt.
We have another comment from Mr. M. Grade. I'm going to do it, yes, again.
This shirt is not appealing. That's not appealing. Like, who would buy that shirt? Nobody.
The Mary Poppins fans.
That's not. No, I wouldn't. You know how much T-shirts are this day and age? No, I would not buy that shirt. No. Look at how many. I mean, this is ridiculous. But then you got David Tennant.
The Can You Hear Me one was better looking.
Is it me, or do those shirts look a bit out of date? Look like something made by universities.
I mean, look at how to land a plane shirt. That's stupid.
most of those look like they're the ones that you can buy those transfers and print pictures on and just iron them on yourselves.
Yeah, but you want to hear an example? We're talking about price. Look at David Tennant shirts. But like, look at her. She's got her shirts that like they're getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
Yeah.
And it's all catered to women. Like it's not except for like David Tennant. It's like mostly women like that.
Why is it? As soon as she became the Doctor, there was an official what looked like an official coat, a replica of her coat and her outfit, and there were so many people easily getting hold of the costume for Jodie's.
Yes,
but you can't find bloody. I would always. Well, I'm more of a classic fan, so I would love to find a load of the Tom Baker stuff. But
I want a Colin Baker one.
You actually want the Colin Baker multicolored dream coat?
Yes.
Screw that.
I've got a better question. Why is the Jodie Whittaker jumper thing being modelled by women 2 sizes or 3 sizes bigger than them?
Because we worship diversity of all types. Space for all.
Hashtag space for all.
Space for all, David Aston. That's the politically correct answer.
She's regenerated again after several burgers, apparently.
Space for all, unless you're upset about your cancer might be coming back, and then it's no, I don't want to know.
Oh,
yes. Dennis, I don't have time, but I'm a Time Lord. They should make another shirt. I don't have time, but I'm a Time Lord. Okay.
That's the most thing. That's the most Twitter feed comment or Facebook comment I've seen all week is about that scene at the end of that episode.
And it overshadows Yaz totally.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're all talking
it's overshadowed. It's overshadowed the Frog of last year.
I think it is. I think it's going to be one of the most talked about things. And the trouble is, it's hit so many people personally because they've all got some sort of thing they can relate to where they're like, I can't believe our hero, the Doctor, has just done that and walked away from somebody that upset.
As I said on the previous cast from Joe, I still believe that this is all being done through Chibnall's personal eyes. For Jodie, the way it's been written, it's like he's got all these personal issues and he's bringing it through the Doctor through this show.
Keep your personal life out of it.
Yeah. I think he wants to bang her secretly.
Oh, stop.
It's the usual wimpy guy. Perhaps if I do this,
he's married though, isn't he? He's married.
He is, but does that stop anybody in the public eye?
Moffat was banging her assistant against the wood oak thing. And
demonetization! No, okay.
It doesn't do wood.
Going forward, you know what? It's almost over. Are we going to have a massive push for this final 2 episodes merchandise as well? Are they going to really pump it?
Because again, I think they're hyping it up. Because they're hyping it up so much that this next episode is going to lead straight into like the finale. They're saying, "Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it."
Yeah, everybody's waiting for the finale. That's the problem. The middle episodes.
Yeah.
After 2, it's like 1, 2, miss, 9, 10. It's like, I mean, with the exception of the mid-season, like
as far back as Praxis and Can You Hear Me, there's so many people now that have posted on social media that they're done with these 1-episode arcs.
They're just waiting for the finale and they're waiting for the Dalek special.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, they're gonna have to do something to keep people wanting to tune in for this finale, because I've seen even in the history of the show back when the Doctors were more popular, the finales don't always bring in more ratings, even if they have teased something that's going to be coming at the end. They don't always bring in more ratings. Now,
the feel is that just a few years ago you'd be anticipating and looking forward to the finale, and it might just be me. I can't speak for everybody, but it's sort of. The love is sort of...
Well, we just talked about this earlier on before Matt got here, but when you've got 5.7 million viewers not tuning in since her first episode in 2018 to her last consolidated episode, which is Praxius, because we haven't had the results for Can You Hear Me yet. But and you've got 5.7 million viewers less, just over 2 series. Something's going wrong.
Chibnall's not going to leave until his 5-season contract is up, unless they fire him.
Well, it could be like I'm assuming there'll be something.
We could have Doctor Who back. It's supposed to be Doctor Who.
I know.
It's
Doctor Where? Where is she? I don't know. Where is he? I don't know.
We talked about this last night, saying I'm wondering whether there's a trigger in the contract that it's got to get so bad before they say.
There's got to be something, a loophole in there they could fire him. There's got to be a loophole.
Yeah.
But then again, they've never had a showrunner that was attached to these special contracts before, which kind of puts him in a powerful position, unfortunately.
Yeah, but the fact that we know, unless it wasn't true when they said that he was going to give us a series a year.
Well, already wasn't. He already failed in that respect.
Well, exactly. So he's already in breach of
contract. But did he have a loophole? Did he have a loophole for that? Like the special being in 2019. Technically, it is in 2019. So, yeah. All right, guys. I'm actually going to cut we're going to end this cast now because it's gone on for 2 hours, and I'm getting very hungry. It's time to eat. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in. I didn't expect to go 2 hours, but I had fun. But I got to recharge and regenerate myself. So I will see you guys later. Thank you, Neil.
No problem.
Thank you, Matt Rose. Thank you, David Aston. Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah.
You're right up here. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Oh.